In the beginning, there were only keepers, but then the corruption of the dark ether lurched its way into the realm and twisted the minds of some of them. These keepers then turned into shadows of their former selves and eventually becoming the Apothicons. This is one of the many ciphers we have in GOROD KROVI, but for me, this is one of the more interesting ones because it gives us an insight not only to the keepers, but more about how the Apothicons came to be. Hundreds of thousands, many millenniums of years ago, the keepers existed, all the way back in the beginning, in the origins. But then the corruption of the dark ether lurched its way into the realm and twisted the minds of some of the keepers, in which they then turned to shadows of their former selves and eventually becoming the Apothicons. This tells us, and there were many theories around the community, that the Apothicons were once keepers before being twisted by this dark ether that lurched upon them. The Apothicons at one time were keepers. They were good. And this is really interesting because we've had the keepers in our zombie storyline for actually a very long time. Since Origins, we saw the Ancients. We saw at the end of that our 4 Primus heroes who were keepers. We've had hints about them and now they've become more relevant in our Black Ops 3 zombie storyline, but we've never really had a background behind them, besides from little bits and bobs here and there. And the same thing goes for the Apothicons. We know the keepers are good. Their whole purpose, at least in our Black Ops 3 zombie storyline, seemed to be for them to protect the summoning key, to make sure that the wrong hands don't touch this and prevent the Apothicons from wreaking havoc upon the earth. We see for many years they have been protecting the summoning key within Shadows of Evil and keeping the Apothicons at bay. And if we go back to Origins, back to World War I 1918, when the Apothicon was unleashed by Group 935 in northern France, the keepers would occasionally appear in an attempt to stop our Origins characters. Getting back to the cipher, what it's simply telling us is that the Apothicons were at one time keepers before they came corrupted by the dark ether that launched its way into their realm and twisted the minds of some of the keepers to then turn them into the Apothicons. Before that, they were keepers, they were good, and everything was peaceful, unlike now in our zombie storyline where we have the 2 groups fighting against one another, which I think is very freaking cool. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. It was a short one, but nevertheless it's an interesting cipher. Remember to leave a like rating. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you siding towards the keepers or the Apothicons? Are you good, bad? I don't know. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.